All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the Village Board meeting for Village of Schaumburg for Tuesday, February 9th, 2020. First item on the agenda is roll call. I will ask the clerk if she'll call the roll, please.
Trustee Kozak is absent. Trustee Conley?
Here.
Trustee Sullivan?
Present.
Trustee Dunham?
Here.
Trustee Madej?
Present.
Trustee Bishke?
Present.
Hi, Marge. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you.
Nice to see all of you.
Okay, next item is Pledge of Allegiance. If I'm going to ask Trustee Jack Sullivan to lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance, if you wouldn't mind.
Please rise, face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Next item is approval of minutes from January 26, 2021. Look for motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kozak absent. Trustee Conley?
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan?
Aye.
Trustee Dunham?
Aye.
Trustee Madej?
Aye.
Trustee Bishke?
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. Thank you. Next item is approval of minutes, or approval of expenditures, to a tune of $3,103,076.90.
Make a motion to approve the expenditures as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the expenditures as presented. Further conversation. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kozak absent. Trustee Conley?
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan?
Aye.
Trustee Dunham?
Aye.
Trustee Madej?
Aye.
Trustee Bishke?
5 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Thank you. Liquor license requests, we have none this evening. We have a consent agenda. The consent agenda will be read in its entirety and voted on as one motion to approve. If you wish to discuss an item further, please indicate that when the item is read by the village clerk so that it can be removed from the consent agenda and discussed further under committee reports. Otherwise, all items will be approved as presented on the consent agenda in one motion to approve. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Number 1, proclamations. A, Health for Humanity Yogathon, January 16th to 31st, 2021. 2, Engineering and Public Works Committee. The motion, the motion would be to approve a resolution for the utilization of Rebuild Illinois grant funds for the reconstruction of National Parkway from American Lane to Whitfield Road. B, the motion would be to authorize the village manager to execute change order number 2 for National Parkway Reconstruction Project, Phase 2, Design Services with Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. of Itasca, Illinois, in the amount of $99,392.23 and approve the required resolution. C, the motion would be to award the bid for the water main replacement of Kimberly Drive and Quinton Road to Martham Construction, Inc. of Elgin, Illinois, in the amount of $448,208 for Kimberly Drive and $171,053 for Quinton Road. 3, Health and Human Services Committee. The motion would be to refer the 2020 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Action Plan Amendment to the Plan Commission for a public hearing. B, the motion would be to refer the 2019 Community Development Block Grant CDBG Action Plan Amendment for CDBG CV3 funds to the Plan Commission for review and comment at a public hearing prior to Village Board approval. 4, Zoning Board of Appeals. The motion would be to approve a special use for an internet auto sales facility for Express Automotive Care, DBA Ideal Auto, 555 Estes Avenue. B, the motion would be to approve a special use amendment for an adult use cannabis business establishment, shared parking agreement for NAC2 LLC, DBA Enlightened Cannabis for People 2 at 820 East Gulf Road. 5, Project Review Group. The motion would be to approve a site plan amendment for a new building and Woodfield Regional Center design review for Charles Schwab, 1160 Plaza Drive.
Mr. President, I would like to vote no on this.
Trustee Madej
And me.
and Dunham. Okay. And 6 resolutions. The motion will be to adopt as Resolution R21-008 to approve utilization of Rebuild Illinois grant funds for the reconstruction of National Parkway from American Lane to Woodfield Road. B, the motion would be to adopt as Resolution R21-009, authorizing the village manager to execute change order number 2 for the National Parkway Reconstruction Project, Phase 2 Design Services with Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. 7 ordinances. The motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-014, granting special use for an internet auto sales facility for Express Automotive Care, DBA Ideal Auto, 555 Estes Avenue. B, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-015, granting a special use amendment for an adult use cannabis business establishment, shared parking agreement for NAC2 LLC, DBA Enlightened Cannabis for People 2 at 820 East Gulf Road. C, the motion would be to waive first reading and adopt as ordinance number 21-016, granting a site plan amendment for a new building and Woodfield Regional Center design review for Charles Schwab, 1160 Plaza Drive.
Mr. President, I'd like to vote no on this item also.
Well, it's pulled.
You-
You're going to pull it? Yeah, I wanted it pulled.
You want it
You want
pulled?
Oh, well, he was
Pulled
just
or-
voting.
just vote
He was
no.
just wanted to vote no on it. You want it pulled.
I want it pulled.
And that concludes the consent agenda.
Okay, and please show a no vote for me on item 4B, the adult use cannabis.
Okay.
All right. So we have,
What about
We need a-
the ordinance that goes with that?
you want a no on the
No
ordinance?
on the
that?
ordinance as well.
Okay. All right,
But on the other, you want it pulled.
Hold.
yes. So I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So with the reading of the consent agenda, I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda with item B under zoning board, trustee Dunham voting no. Also voting no under ordinances, item B, ordinance number 21-015 regarding cannabis, trustee Dunham voting no on that. And with item A under project review group for the Charles Schwab to be removed from the consent agenda, along with the corresponding ordinance, which is item C under ordinances.
And that's by trustee Dunham.
Yep.
That's, yes, request by trustee Dunham.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Conley and a second by trustee Madej. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kozak absent. Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Madej.
Aye.
Trustee Bishki.
So the ordinance that trustee Dunham voted no on will still pass because it gets 4 affirmative votes without the mayor needing to vote.
Right, I was going to make mention of that, thank you very much. So the item on the cannabis is still passed with a vote of 4-1. Committee reports, next item is from Project Review Group and corresponding ordinance with it, having to do with the building and Woodfield Regional Center design review for the Charles Schwab at 1160 Plaza Drive. Trustee Dunham.
I've gone back and forth on this for most of the day, and it gives me no pleasure whatsoever to question the results from the zoning board and from project review and so forth, but One of the things I learned as a rookie trustee from a guy named Al Larson, and I've heard it for years and years and years, and it's been drummed into me for years and years. Schaumburg can afford to wait. 5 words. And I think those 5 words have, in a lot of ways, they've shaped the wonderful development, the effective development that we've had. I sat in a meeting with Mr. Gallagher, who I respect a great deal, and with others when we talked about the Woodfield Regional properties and the need to consider perhaps rezoning and allowing some uses that had never been done there before. And I know a lot of people have worked very hard on this. I have nothing against Charles Schwab Company. I think it's a fine company. I have been a customer of theirs in the past, I believe. I have to ask my wife to be sure. But this is a premier corner in the village of Schaumburg. Granted that it's had a couple of restaurants that haven't made it, and I think part of that is due to perhaps bad choices on the part of those restaurant operators and things that they could have done, should have done, didn't do, and therefore their businesses failed. But that doesn't make it a bad restaurant corner. With some adjustments to parking and some other easily done, design features and so forth, somebody in a restaurant business or in a retail business could make a success on that corner. And doing that would provide a great deal of food and beverage tax, sales tax revenue, and so forth, none of which we will get from Schwab. Some years ago, we declared a moratorium on banks, especially on on critical corners. And for all intents and purposes, this is a bank. I mean, they don't make loans. They don't do a lot of bank-like things. You can't get a checking account there, I don't believe. But they also don't produce any revenue for the village. And I believe that Schwab is a destination for those who do business with them and who wish to do business with them. And if they are somewhere in that regional center, their customers are going to find them. I don't think that there will be very many people driving down Gulf Road or Meacham Road and saying, oh, there's Charles Schwab, let's go in and make some investments. I think it would be more a case of, oh, wow, that looks like a good place to sit down and have dinner. Let's go try it for the first time. And the building is nice. It's not fantastic, but it's nice. And for all these reasons and so forth, I can't support this, and I will not support it.
Trustee Madej, I know you're also not in favor. Do you have comments?
Well, basically, Trustee Dunham pretty much pointed out everything I was thinking about saying, but, it's the same thing. It just reminds me of a building like a bank, and it's not going to do us any good whatsoever. And at the same time, those services are going more and more online. It's just a big building with advertisement. That's all it's going to be, and nothing is going to do us any good. No taxes. It's not going to entice people to come over there and use the restaurants and go invest. So I just see it as a real poor type of business for that prime corner.
Anyone else? No? Okay.
I guess, this is Marge, I guess I need to ask the attorney. This particular use fully meets what this property is zoned for. Offices are called out in this zoning district.
Yes.
For restaurants, we're restrictive. We don't allow drive-through restaurants. Panera had to move because they wanted a drive-through. Can we just say no to something that fully meets our zoning code just because we don't think we like it?
Well, potentially no. I mean, these are questions that often are not answered fully because they aren't fully litigated, but certainly you design your rules and regulations under zoning for permitted uses and others, and if it's permitted, as long as all the conditions are met, they still may need to get approval for it, but your discretion is certainly more limited.
Okay, that was what I guess I was thinking. Thank you.
So there's a good chance I'm probably going to have to vote on this. And my comments are, I think trustee Dunham's right on the mark. I think this is a prime location for a restaurant. We've had restaurants. The last one, most recent one, didn't make it for whatever reason. And one of them, I think, is parking. There's 3 restaurants at that corner. Parking has always been an issue. And I think here we have an opportunity that by having something a little different at that corner, it may help with the parking situation. We've got Skylark coming in, looking to open soon. We've got the old Panera Bread site, which will become another restaurant site. And so we've got potential now. Charles Schwab, let's face it, probably won't have more than 4 to 8 cars at any one time. So we're now picking up that extra shared parking in that area, just like we have with the TCI Bank that sits between Fat Rosie's and Weber Grill. So when you have parking over there and you know how busy those 2 locations are, they're jammed up all the time. We've got TCI that sits over there, and in effect with that shared parking we have, those restaurants, which are very busy, now have the ability to use TCI's lot. So I think this meets our code, and I think it's helps out in a parking situation with the loss of the office building to the south and the parking from there. I think this works out well. So while on the initial blush of it, I agree with Trustee Dunham and Trustee Madej. I think this meets our code and we should go ahead and do it. So anything further? So look for a motion then.
The motion would be to approve the recommendation. Right? It's to do 2 things: to approve the recommendation of the site plan, to approve the site plan amendment for new building at Woodfield Regional Center and design review for Charles Schwab, 1160 Plaza Drive, and to waive first reading and approve as ordinance number 21-016, granting a site plan amendment for a new building in Woodfield Regional Center design review for Charles Schwab, 1160 Plaza Drive. That would be the appropriate motion at this point.
Second.
So motion by Trustee Bischke, seconded by Trustee Sullivan. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kozak absent. Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
No.
Trustee Madej.
Nay.
Nay. President Daley.
Aye.
Bischke. No, Bischke
You
first.
forgot
Bischke?
Trustee Bischke.
Oh, okay, excuse me. Bischke, okay, Bischke was an aye.
So it's 3-2 in favor, so for the ordinance, we need 4 affirmative votes, so the mayor will need to vote.
And I vote aye.
4 votes in favor, it passes.
Okay, and that includes the ordinance.
Right, yeah.
Right,
Yep, it was,
okay.
the motion was to
That's
accept
fine.
the
That's- I just
recommendation and
double-checking.
waive
Okay.
first reading and adopt the
All right,
ordinance.
that's all under committee reports. Comments from the audience? We'll start with anyone in the audience here. Nope. Okay, we'll go to anyone on the Zoom call. If you wish to have a comment, you need to unmute yourself or use the wave or whatever, something, the chat feature, and let us know that you're interested. There is one chat on there. Is that, who's that? That's just standard? No. You bring it up. It's Jack. Jack? Netter? Yeah. The chat, who's that chat? There's one under there, it looks like for chat. Okay, thank you. All right, seeing how there's no comments from the Zoom call, we'll move on. Council report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Two things. The first is to again ask for a motion to extend the proclamation declaring a local state of emergency originally made on so long ago, March 20th, 2020, till the adjournment of the next regular meeting of the Village of Schaumburg Board of Trustees.
Look for motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kozak absent. Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Madey.
Aye.
Trustee Bishki.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
Okay, and then the second thing is just to indicate that at the end of our regular business, we do need to go into closed session to discuss two items, one under
I'll get
probable
those.
or imminent litigation.
We'll read them at the end.
Okay, and then the other for the
Yes.
property.
President's report, I have nothing. Manager's report.
I have no report.
New business? Anyone? Nope. Unfinished business? Nothing for unfinished business. Trustee comments and mentions? Okay. Oh, yes, Trustee Dunham.
Kudos to Public Works and the entire Snow Command staff and anybody else who was involved in keeping the, getting the snow moved out and keeping things moving and so forth these last week or so. What have we had, 3 storms?
Yeah.
And they did a great job.
Good point. Thank you, George. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. We're going to look to adjourn into executive session in accordance with Section 2, subsection C, item 11 of the Open Meetings Act, litigation or an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. Also, item number 2, which is in accordance with Section C, Section 2, subsection C, number 6 of the Open Meetings Act, sale or lease of village property, the setting of a price for sale or lease of public property owned by the public body.
We could just add to that C5 as well, acquisition of real property for acquisition by the public body.
Okay. All right. Got a motion
Second.
and a second by Trustee Madey. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kozak absent. Trustee Conley.
Aye.
Trustee Sullivan.
Aye.
Trustee Dunham.
Aye.
Trustee Madey.
Aye.
Trustee Bishki.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Well, I should ask, were we reconvening or no?
No,
No.
we have no reason
All
to
right,
take
so
action.
we will not be reconvening, so thank you very much for attending this evening, and the meeting is now adjourned.